Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to The Scoop on K-State, a show about the K-State journey to become a next-gen land-grant university, featuring insights and stories from Wildcats leading the way. I'm your host, Adam Walker, President and CEO of the K-State Alumni Association, and our guest today is Mirna Bonilla, Program Manager for the Office of Engagement at Kansas State. Mirna earned both her bachelor's and master's degrees from K-State. She has experience as an extension agent with K-State Research Extension, and also served as a human service assistant for the Kansas Department of Children and Families. In her role with the Office of Engagement, she manages sponsored projects, relationships that enhance community engagement, engage scholarly projects, and engage learning. Welcome, Mirna.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Adam.
So first off, you're a K-State alum.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you tell us a little about yourself and maybe your K-State experience from your perspective as a student and now in a university admin role?
Yeah, I think as a first-generation student, I couldn't have asked for a better experience and a better fit than K-State. My first true visit to Manhattan was in 2006, and we had actually come to the game where it was then ranked Texas, number 4 Texas, and K-State beat them, and it was like this electric environment. And I think we know that going to athletics, and initially athletics is what drew me in, but the more I thought about what the land grant mission is, that's truly why I have stayed in Manhattan and why I dedicated myself to really staying with K-State. I think in my admin role, I see a whole nother level of what the university means and what it does for communities. And it's so much more than, the fun environment. It's that plus being able to give back to society. And so now in my role within the Office of Engagement, it truly just kind of fits to the values that I had growing up and as a student, and even now being able to serve the university.
That was a great game.
It was.
That kind of sucked you in right away.
It did. And, and that's why, athletics really was like one of the first things that drew me in. And I said, I don't think I'm probably going to go anywhere else. But as the years have gone by, the values that the land grant mission has really just has continued to stay with me, and I love what I do.
It's a deep passion. It's kind of neat. First generation student, and now you get to offer that land grant mission of access and opportunity to other future K-Staters that some of them are first generation.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
What a neat story.
And also not just to students, but also like our families. Our families weren't exposed to many of the services or the different opportunities, and being able to say, hey, did you know K-State does do this? Yeah. And it's actually a pretty unique feeling and story.
That's great. Well, maybe you can share a little bit more about the Office of Engagement, its mission and core services you offer. So tell us about that.
So as the Office of Engagement, our primary role is to identify how we can connect and leverage university resources. And it really sticks to how we can also expand more of the breadth of our campus, whether it's through teaching, research, outreach. It really is our goal to be able to connect and leverage. I like to say our team is small but mighty. We're led by Dr. Tim Steffensmeyer, who has just a great vision of how do we extend the university and engage not only with our academic side of the house, but also with the extension system. So we've been able to really help to start build those relationships up of being able to build capacity within our faculty, staff, and our core services is to connect our knowledge and our expertise to communities, but also how do we build capacity within our faculty and staff and be able to communicate the impact, because there are some phenomenal things that are happening at the university. And if our office can have any tiny role of being able to share that story, I think that that really kind of really serves to our mission as an office to be able to highlight and emphasize engagement.
Yeah. So it really thinks about it's K-State extending our knowledge out to the community. It's what we do in terms of research and teaching and sharing that knowledge with Kansas and the world.
Yeah.
A lot of people may not realize, so research extension is what it sounds like, and we have a presence in all 105 counties.
Yeah.
So maybe just touch a little bit about research extension and our impact on Kansas.
Yeah,
real
and
quick.
I think it's unique to K-State. It's unique to the land grant mission of being able to touch all 105 counties. So, if people did not know, we have a presence in every single county across the state, and there are agents who have expertise in their communities, who live in the community, and can really start to help identify what do communities need, and help make progress on goals to really help communities thrive. When we speak about the economic prosperity and being able to help communities thrive, extension is definitely one of the tools that we can leverage and have that connection back to the university to be able to help make those bridges. Also with the extension agents and our academic side, I think is really unique. My background is in extension, so I'm a little biased to the extension system. I was fortunate enough to be able to, when I started in extension, to go back to Southwest Kansas and go back to Liberal as an agent. It's very different growing up there as a kid and then going back and seeing like, oh, these are the different things that were happening in our community. Yeah. What can I contribute back? And so I think as an agent, they're really dedicated to being able to serve the communities and be pillars being pillars of the community to also help advance their goals.
Yeah. It's kind of neat. We're both K-Staters from Southwest Kansas.
That's right.
You're from Liberal. I'm from Ulysses.
That's
so
right.
It's got you always have a soft spot going back there and helping people back there, which is kind of neat. Think of the whole K-State, but it's out there.
It is.
A lot of people say, "Where's that at?" Ulysses. It's Dodge City. It's an hour west of there, so it's out there. But we reach, connect, and serve. Everybody.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
Well, tell us about a new initiative, and I haven't learned about this yet. It's creating impact for K-State. It's called the K-State's Engagement Council. So maybe share more about the council, how this aligns with the university's strategic plan, and specifically integrating engagement across all we do. So maybe talk us about the council, what it is, and the importance.
Yeah, I think with K-State too, we want to build a culture of engagement. How do we be able to we talked about extending the university, extending our knowledge, but in that we also have to build capacity for our faculty, staff, and campus-based extension professionals. And so this council is really a collaborative effort to be able to build capacity, develop new skills, or enhance the skills that we have already to do engagement, but also builds collaboration and partnership. It's also a method for the council members to be able to provide input, what is important to them when we're talking about engagement, and being able to really let us know what type of professional development that they wish to have or they want to continue to build on. And lastly, it's also about networking, being able to collaborate with one another. There's been so many times where, we've run across a project and we have heard not a similar project, but a potential connection to a different department. And there's a lot of, I didn't know that. And so we hope that this council can serve as a way for faculty and staff to be able to network, collaborate, and start to build those really just transdisciplinary work to make greater impact, and ultimately, I think that's what we strive for, is collective impact, to be able to show the breadth of what we can do. And this council, I think, can spark new ideas between our faculty and staff, and just build better partnership together.
Yeah, that's great. So this engagement council, what's the makeup of it? I mean, is it all internal, have some external? Is it mainly for us to be able to collaborate on campus, work with obviously the 105 different counties? What's the makeup look like? It
is internal, and it is for our academic side. So any faculty, staff, or campus-based extension professional can participate in the council. And what I think is unique about this council too is it's not necessarily us the Office of Engagement being the leaders in all professional development, we are actually leveraging on other expertise that's across campus. So, for example, our first event, we talked about the continuum of engaged scholarship. So, how does K-State disseminate information? There's 5 different lanes that we can really look at that. We can inform, we can consult, we can involve, we can collaborate or co-create knowledge together. And then we pivoted to council members saying, we need to learn a little bit more about this extension system. How does the extension system work? I've heard of it. I know it's here, but how do I connect with them? And so next week, we will actually be hosting an Extension 101. What does it look like to understand the extension system, but also have the co-presenters of the program are the regional extension directors, and so they participate. So we will have some external colleagues be able to do some of the trainings, but it really is focused on building capacity for our faculty and staff on campus.
Great. Kind of reigniting that initial cause and the roots of the program.
Right. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what excites you most about serving in this role? I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit. Maybe you can share other projects or relationships your office is working on.
Yeah, I think what excites me the most is I have seen K-State in a whole new light. We briefly talked about, it's different when you're a student here, and then you come on the backside of being able to understand now what truly is the land grant mission and what is K-State really dedicated to. And so in this role, it's been really exciting to see the different facets of the university. One project that our office was really excited to do was the community visits. The Alumni Association was a huge piece of that. And being able to go across the state of Kansas and really just learn from and engage with community members, what truly is important to them, and how can K-State be a better partner or a better collaborator with them in communities. And so the community visits really allowed us to highlight engagement and highlight the ways that we can engage with communities in a way that is mutually beneficial and not just us showing up and saying, we're here, It's a great day to wear purple, but it's also a great day to learn about the community.
Get their feedback.
Yeah, exactly. Get the feedback and really learn about what's important to them. So the visits are I think a special place for us, and we're excited to continue them. They look a little different now that we're in year 3, but we are launching the community visits. We are continuing to launch the community visits in a little bit of a different manner this 3rd year. And I think, though, at the end of the day, though, it's about us being able to extend more of the university and just build better partnership with the state.
I think you said it well, because a lot of times we have events and it's just, it's a social and whatnot, and get together and connect and alumni and friends. But what's unique about these visits is we really do go in the community, ask them, okay, here's what K-State is, but let's hear from you. What's important to you? We want to hear your feedback. What are some challenges? What are issues you're dealing with? How can we take that back to the institution and maybe help solve some of these? And we've had some examples of that. Yeah. Whether it be architecture or some various problems that we've actually come back and been able to help solve in these communities. I know we feature that in K-State. So those are really neat.
Yeah, and I think it's also too of when we're there, there was also this piece of community members hearing about stories and how K-State is in the community, and they weren't aware of it. And so it's also telling this greater story of, we have this knowledge, and we are here to be able to work with communities. And so there was lots of times where community members came up afterwards and said, I did not know that was happening here. That's fantastic. And that just really just kind of, pulls your heartstrings a little bit of, this is why we do what we do.
Yeah. Maybe expand a little bit on that. Let's talk about how it ties into the Next Gen strategic plan, some of those initiatives, some of the impact.
Yeah. With the Next Gen strategic plan, it really elevated and emphasized engagement and extension, being able to extend more of the university and almost having this, this K-State is open for business policy of we are here to be able to connect with communities within either Kansas or beyond. With the next gen plan, I think that there's also this level that it allows communities to use the university or consider the university as a resource. And as for our office, it can be intimidating. How do you connect to a university, when you're a smaller community? And so our office really, I think, strives to be able to be that access point for whether it's in the public or in the private sector. We help facilitate those conversations and allow, I think, those room to grow on those partnerships. And so consider us, one of the first steps that if you can't, if you've connected with your extension agent and you need additional resources, the extension system also knows that they can reach out to our office. So it's a very, I like to say, like a two-way lane that we want to be able to help community members connect to the university, but also help our extension system the same, be able to connect to the academic side and just kind of facilitate a lot of those conversations.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Is sometimes K-Staters are like, I don't know where to go, but research and extension in their county, there's Office of Engagement, and we may not know the exact answer, but we know where to find it.
Yeah,
right, and we can connect them with who we need to get in touch with.
Yes.
So that's very important. Yeah, Mirna, I appreciate everything you do, and thanks for your service to K-State and this important role. So now's one of my favorite parts of the podcast, so we get to share some ice cream. So the scoop on K-State obviously wouldn't be the scoop without Call ice cream. Yeah. So maybe talk about what you selected today and why.
I selected Purple Pride, and why not? Because it's purple. Yeah. And,
can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong with Purple Pride. Yeah. Anything, yes, that's usually my go-to flavor, so Purple Pride.
Good choice.
Yes.
Always. So, Mirna, again, thank you for all you do. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. And you help us on our mission of association to continue to reach, connect, and serve K-Staters. So thank you for everything you're doing with K-State.
Yeah, thank you.
That wraps up another episode of The Scoop on K-State. Again, I'm Adam Walker, President and CEO of the K-State Alumni Association. I also want to thank you for watching or listening to the show. Until next time, be sure to share this podcast with your friends and family. Select that follow button on the podcast app so you'll never miss another episode. On behalf of the K-State Alumni Association staff, we are proud to be your connection to campus. We value and appreciate your ongoing support and membership. And if you're not currently a member, please consider joining. And of course, Mirna, go Cats.
Cats.